Yo, yo. What's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday. Sunday fun day, man. Sorry I'm a little soft spoken tonight. You guys know I just got 4 teeth pulled, but feel better, feel good. So, let's get to it, man, alright? Have a good night tonight. It's gonna be one of the shorter nights, but as always, man, I'm gonna show up for you guys, alright? You guys show up for me, I'm gonna show up for you. I was live trading with you guys when I had a cracked tooth, could barely talk. Here we are post surgery. Still show up, man. You guys know the vibes, man. What's good, everybody? Ian, Casey, Sherman, Samuel, Fiona, Michelle, Melvin, John, Terrian, David, Shay, Neil, Pascal, Rhea, Blocker, AP, Sean, Noah, Quita. What's good, everybody? Yeah, man, I feel pretty good. Obviously, it's just that little lingering feeling in the back, that I got 2 fully like extracted, and then I got 2 what do you call it, coronectomies, because the nerves were wrapped around the bottom of the roots. So I think that's what hurt the most, was the coronectomy thing. Yes, sir. My man Nell's talking about some COD tonight. Yeah, I'm down. When I get home, I'll play. I'll probably leave my office at like 10. So I'll be home at like 10:15. I'll hop on with you. But yeah, man. Hope everybody had a great weekend. I've had a the craziest thing ever? I was trading Thursday and Friday and absolutely killed it. Like, absolutely killed it. Between Thursday and Friday, I made like 30 grand. Just absolutely insane. All fucking hide up trading. Probably not a good idea, but hey, it worked very well. Alrighty, y'all. Let's get it. It's about that time, man. Before we get started here, can everybody see clear? Everybody hear clear? If you can, put a 1. If you can't, put a 2. When you guys are ready, we'll go ahead and rock out. Everybody good? Everybody good? I am looking for an opportunity here on NQ as well. I will be more than happy to take it if we can get it, so I'll keep an eye on that. Alrighty, everybody's good to go? Alrighty, let's make this bigger. As always, for anybody that's new here, we're going to go into the economic calendar first, and then we'll get into the watch list for the week ahead. Luis, yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie, the new stock streetwear drop, that shit is absolute gas. I'm wearing it right now, actually. The investor one, man, the quality, like I said, I'm not trying to glaze or gas anything up. Like I said, I've owned everything from Fruit of the Loom to Hanes to Goodfellow to Louis to Gucci to Chrome to everything in between. I promise you, there's not a single piece of clothing out there that I would rather wear. Not just because, I have parts in it or whatever the case may be, because of the comfort, and not only the comfort, quality, and it's something that I can wear that represents what I love. You know what I mean? That's what matters the most to me. But alrighty, you guys, let's get it. First things first here. Let's go ahead and pull up this trusty dusty economic calendar. Got a fresh month here, hopping into March. So whatever the bullshit you had going on in February, make sure you leave that in February, alright? It's a new month. Start fresh. We're going into Monday, March 3rd. Interesting morning here, right? Tomorrow morning we have PMI. That is going to be at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Following that PMI report, we're going to have ISM as well. And that is going to be at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday, March 3rd. March 4th, which is Tuesday, nothing of importance here. Wednesday, another pretty big day here. We have PMI at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Following PMI, we have factory orders and ISM at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So fairly big day here on Wednesday. That's going to be March 5th. Thursday, We have our usual, which is jobless claims at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that is Thursday, March 6th. Biggest day of the week here is going to be Friday, March 7th. Very big morning here. We have non-farm payrolls at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Following non-farm payrolls, we have, of course, our consumer sentiment, and then we have Jay Powell speaking at 12:30. I'm pretty sure he is speaking on the monetary report, so we can expect some nice volatility, right? So definitely looking forward to this week's trading session. Just a quick recap for the economic data side. Monday, big morning here. PMI 945, ISM at 10 a.m. That is Monday, March 3rd. Tuesday, nothing of importance. Wednesday, we have PMI at 945, followed by factory orders and ISM at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then Thursday, March 6th, we have our usual jobless claims. And then Friday, we have non-farm payrolls, and then Jay Powell speaking at 12:30. So very, very big day here on Friday, to be honest with you. Definitely looking forward to that. And yeah, man, that's what we got to look forward to this week in terms of our economic data. Now, let's get into the fun part. Let's get into these. Oh my goodness, hold on a second. I am looking for an opportunity here on NQ, if we can get it. A trade opportunity here before we start getting into the chart. Let's take a look at this real quick. Right now, we are rejecting this major supply, in which we have rejected. See some nice weakness tonight. So what I'm looking for now is a retest of that supply, which is what we're getting right now, right? We have that overnight rejection of that supply at 21,000, failed that 21,000 flat level, then obviously developed a nice little downtrend, formed a low base, and then now we're getting a little pop here. So what I'm watching is a rejection off of this 2960 area. If we close weak here, this is where I'm going to look to go short. My target's going to be that 2820 and that 2775. I think this looks very, very good. I'm honestly probably going to take an entry here in a second, to be very honest with you. So we'll keep an eye on this for 1 second. This 5-minute candle is about to close. Let's see if we can get an entry. I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time, so I'll put this on the side screen. I'll let you guys know if I enter. If you're taking micros, to be honest, you can just enter right now. Literally. Like, you guys see my rash. If you're taking micros, that's what I would do. I would just enter right now and then add into it. You guys can see the rationale. Obviously, we were very weak through last week's session. Seen a nice little leaf bounce Friday. Now we're back into this major supply. Had that nice rejection at the start of tonight's session. And here we are again testing this major supply here. So if you're taking micros, you can just add and then add on my final ad. Or, you know, you can just wait. Now, I'm not sick. That's the thing. I'm not sick at all. I'm just very soft-spoken because I just got 4 teeth removed, you know, so I can't really, like, open my mouth normal, like the way I usually talk. So I'm talking, like, kind of with my mouth closed, if that makes sense. But alrighty, here we go. We are looking at NQ. This is the monthly chart. A very, very interesting monthly chart, considering the action that we seen last week. What I want to talk about is obviously the close on February. Is it blurry? Is it blurry for you guys? Is everything good? It doesn't look blurry on my end. Let me see. Is it good? Alright, cool. Things good, everything's good? Cool. Alrighty, here we go. As you guys can see, right, last week we seen significant downside. What's most important, or what came from that, was this monthly bearish engulfing, right? You guys can see at one point in time, that monthly candle was fully green, right? We were getting ready to break all-time highs. And then last week we had that massive sell-off where it closed back below that previous month's low. And then obviously we've seen that bounce. So honestly, this candle is now indecisive, right? The reason this candle is indecisive, because if we would have closed the month below that previous month's low, that would have been bearish, right? But since we bounced and reclaimed that previous month's low, this is honestly kind of more on the bullish side, right? Because the overall trend is bullish. That would be considered another higher low since we didn't close below that previous month's low. So this monthly chart is indecisive in my opinion, right? Obviously the overall trend is bullish, but this monthly chart is kind of a toss-up, right? Weekly chart is a lot cleaner in my opinion, but again, still a toss-up, right? We had that attempt to go higher, double top fade to go higher, seen a nice 8% pullback, by the way. So we were literally 2% away last week from reaching correction territory, but we've seen a beautiful double top, and we essentially just pushed back down into this macro demand here, in which we held last week's session. So that's huge, right? Like in terms of the overall uptrend, this is the demand, right? This is the big line in the sand. We're essentially just at the bottom of the range, right? So looking at this from like a monthly and weekly standpoint, if we're going to bounce from anywhere, it's going to be here, right? Like this is the big line in the sand inflection point. Excuse me, y'all. This is the major level, right? We're back at the bottom of this range. So this is where it's time for the market to either shit or get off the pot, right? And what I mean by that is we're either going to see a big bounce here or we're going to fail, and this can be a start to a much bigger correction, right? And levels they're mostly going to derive from obviously the daily and the hourly, because we're allowed to, narrow down these levels a lot cleaner. So if you look at this daily chart, right? Exactly what we talked about last week. And just a side note, right? Just a side note. We literally caught 90% of this move, right? 90% of this move. Our first entry for a short was here. Swung short, took profit here, re-entered here, took profit here. So I'm very happy about that. Very happy about the way that we traded that. Outside of that, as you guys can see here, right? We're just trading at the back down at the bottom of this range, right? Every single time that we've been down here, we've seen an absolute nuclear rip. With Friday's close, which was a very, very bullish close, right? You can see that. We pushed down into this macro demand, swept that previous day's low, and closed with nice, strong rising volume, right? So from a monthly, weekly, and daily standpoint, this can be a new higher low, right? This could be just a continuation for the overall uptrend. So for everybody who is bearish, right, that time might be over, right? You guys can see, obviously we're very weak through last week's session, but you can't be bearish right here, right? This is an area where you can't be bearish. As much as you want to, you can't, right? Look at that monthly time frame. Failed that previous month's low. Weekly time frame, held that macro demand. Daily time frame, held that macro demand. And if you notice, we're bouncing right off of that daily 200 moving average, which is why tonight's live is titled what it is, right? Every single time since literally 2023, we have tested this 200 moving average. It's provided an absolute nuclear rip. So not only do we have a major demand, but we're also bouncing off of this daily 200 moving average. And it's like a if you know type thing with the daily 200. But what we need to be watching this week, this is what I want to get into now. As you guys can see here, as I just discussed, 21,000, 21,100 is this major supply, right? That's why I was watching what I was watching a few moments ago on NQ, right? That is the major supply. Major demand is at 2450. So now our job is to trade in between that, right? Or trade above it or below it. So what we need to be watching this week is a few things, right? We have this structure from Friday's session, which is 27.75. We can pull back to this demand here and hold. This is where we can look for a long entry back into that 21,000. If we want to look for longs, right? We want to be confident in continuation to the upside. We need to get back above 21,035. That then opens the door for that move into 21,200, ultimately back into that 21,400 area, which is where we could then look to flip short for a higher confidence reject. Downside, right? If we want to look for downside, we got to get back below 27.75, right? If we get back below 27.75, that's where we can look to go short back down to that 2,500. 2,500 is ultimately the line in the sand, as you guys can see. on the grand scheme of things, as long as we're above this 2,500, you can't really be bearish, right? And you guys seen why on the monthly, the weekly, and the daily. You just can't be bearish here, right? This is the overall uptrend demand. This is it, right? This is it. So with that being said, we got to be very careful, right? But if we get below that 2,500, I promise you, it's going to be lights fucking out. But yeah, man, that's what I'm watching this week on NQ. Very clean levels, very clean chart. So make sure you guys set your alerts, and we'll go from there. We'll go from there. MicroStrategy, where's it at? Where is it at? I'm going to check on Robinhood, actually. Where is micro? Oh my god, it's up 17% overnight. That is crazy. I wish we would have swung that from Friday. Hey, Tesla's up 2% though. We swung Tesla. Swung Tesla, that's not bad. How much is, where's SPY at? Okay, SPY is like flat, kind of. Oh, SPY is flat, yeah. SPY is flat. It's not bad. Alright. Now, let's move over here to ES. Like I said, guys, I apologize if I'm, kind of talking lower, not normal, because I just obviously had 4 teeth removed last Wednesday. So, still, kind of recovering a little bit. I haven't even talked much at all since Wednesday, so today's like the most I've talked in the past, what is that, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, in the past like week. But yeah, man, let's get it. Let's move over here to ES. This is the monthly time frame. Am I taking shorts now? No, not yet. Still watching. Still watching. I haven't entered anything yet. We're starting to build a nice flag here. I would like to take a trade tonight, for sure. For sure, for sure. Here we go. ES monthly, let's get it. So last month, as you guys can see, not much happening here, right? It's pretty much just indecisive. We got a beautiful rally base now, though, on this ES monthly. So 2 things can come from this, obviously, which is a rally base drop, which would be a bearish reversal, or we would have that rally base rally, which would be bullish continuation. So in terms of this monthly chart, there's just not much going on here. It can be interpreted as a flag, a base. Regardless, it's indecisive. If you take into account the overall trend, it's more bullish than anything, right? Weekly time frame, I would say, it's obviously very bullish. Overall trend is still bullish. I would consider last week's demand hold also very bullish. You guys can see here, every time we've bounced off this 5,800 level, it's been a rip back into new all-time highs. So can't that count that out, right? Context for last week's reversal was there, right? We had the double top, fair to go higher, push back down to these lows. We've essentially got a nice little pullback, right? So we have some nice stuff to work with for this week. If you look at this chart here, you see that beautiful red line is on my chart. That is the daily 200 moving average. And if you guys look here, every single time that we have tested it since we're back above it, back in 23, you can see we've absolutely ripped. Here we are testing that daily 200 MA along with this macro demand. So now we have a very, very high confluence area of demand. This is where that 1, high confidence swing come from, and 2, massive moves. This is also in confluence with that 382 retracement. This is huge, right? Like, this is huge. This is what everybody's watching, right? This is massive, right? No other way to put it, massive. So with that being said, what I'm watching this week on ES is 2 things. 1, pullback 5,900, 5,920. This is where I'm going to look for a demand bounce to go long back into that 6,000. 2, if we push back to this major supply here, 60.15, 60.25, this is where I want to look for a reject to go short, right? That's kind of our range here. Now, if you want to talk about line in the sand levels, 58.50, line in the sand, 60.25, line in the sand. If you want to look for downside continuation, we got to get below 58.50. That's where you can confidently look to go short. If you want to confidently look for that upside continuation, you need to get above 60.25. That's where we can look for that move back into 6100. Obviously, those trades I'm looking in between are very high probability if we get the opportunity, but we definitely need to wait for that. All right, let's see here. We might get this opportunity to go short. Keeping a close eye here. Close eye. I'm open either way, to be honest. I'm open to go long or short. If we fail here, I like the short. If we reclaim, I like the long. We'll keep an eye on this for a second. We'll keep an eye on this for a second. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I'm tempted to just take it, but I'm very tempted to just take it, but God damn it. I was waiting for that 5-minute candle to close, but we're not gonna get it, huh? Not gonna get it, huh? Fucking piece of shit. It's whatever, I ain't mad at it. It's whatever, I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it, I ain't mad at it, I ain't mad at it. I'm very, very tempted to just enter though. Whatever, we'll keep an eye on it. I'll check back in. We'll check back in. Alrighty, we went over NQ, went over ES. Let's get into QQQ and SPY. Since we just talked about ES, obviously let's get into SPY here. Now, what I really want to talk about on SPY, look at the significance of this trendline support. This dates all the way back into 2023, right? We have our starting point here. We have our second touch, which is our connector. And then obviously we have our third touch in which we just bounce from. This is huge, guys. This is absolutely huge, right? Huge is an understatement, right? This is massive. This is absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. It's the third touch of that macro uptrend trendline support. This is no joke, right? This is absolutely huge. Huge, 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 huge. On top of that, right, tested the bottom of that demand here on the daily, which is after we filled that gap, 582, closed extremely strong here after testing that trend line for the third touch. If you look down here on the hourly, you're going to see that we also reclaimed that massive structure, right? That's huge, right? Absolutely huge. So the game plan on SPY here, context is there to go higher, right? That's why I said on NQ and ES, if we're going to go higher from anywhere, it's going to be from Friday's low. So long as we're above Friday's low, I'm more inclined to look for a dip to buy. If we break Friday's low, like I said, just buy puts, go to sleep for a week. But as of now, you know, we're still holding that macro demand. So with that being said, you guys can see the significance of this level right here, just 589, 590. If we can pull back into this 590, 589 area, this is where I want to look for a demand bounce to go long. If we just continue ripping, I want to watch this 598.50, 600 area for a reject. Only way I'm going to be extremely confident going long is if we get above 600. If we get above 600, that's where we can confidently look for that continuation play back into 607. Downside, like I said, I'm only looking for that reject in this supply here, or if we can get below 582.50, that's why I'll be extremely confident going short for continuation to the downside. Very, very simple for the upcoming week. Very, very simple. QQQ, obviously it's going to be very similar here. Yeah, I'm tempted to take this short. Very tempted. We'll just keep it on the back burner. I can't focus on it like the way I need to focus on it. So if you guys want to take it, you could just keep a stop above 29.70. But I have to do this live, so I can't sit there and watch both charts. QQQ, you guys seeing the same thing I talked about with NQ. We bounced off this major macro demand. So like I said, overall uptrend still very much so intact, right? Daily chart held that daily 200 and moving average, along with obviously that macro demand here. That's huge, right? Like this is absolutely huge. This could be, you know, the low for a new all-time high, right? Ultimately, we have to be patient and see. But based off the aggressiveness of Friday's bounce, it's either going to be two things, right? A dead cat bounce to trap longs, or two, this could be the bottom, right? There's really no way to tell yet, which is why I said what I said earlier. I want to see two things. I want to see a higher low on the hourly to go long on, or if we break those lows, that'll be the confirmation to go short. Levels we need to be watching here on QQQ though. 504, 505. If we pull back to this demand here, this is where I want to look for a long entry back into 508.50. If we get above that 508.80, that's where we can look to go long back into that 514, ultimately targeting that 519, 520, which is where I would then look to go short again off of that massive supply. In order to be confident in downside continuation, very simple. 497, we lose it, you short it. That simple. All right? That's what I'm watching there on QQQ and SPY. Now, what we need to do, let's get into these individual names. We've got quite a few to go over. So, with that being said, let's get it. I do want to check out these futures again, though, see what's going on. Very tempted. What's ES doing? Starting to pull back. YM's pulling back. Yeah, I'm so tempted to take this, y'all. How much time's left on this candle? 12 seconds. Alright, I want to watch this for 12 seconds. If we get the opportunity, I'm taking it. Fuck you. Come back. Come on, man. Why you do me like that? Bro. Well, there goes our trade, y'all. I hope some of you guys caught it, maybe. Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, no, maybe so. That is what we were looking for. Damn. That would have been nice. That was a big move too. If you guys would have went short when I said, that's almost a 40-point move. It's almost a 40-point move. I'm still watching an entry. I would like to take it myself as well. Alright, let's get into the watch list. I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time. Tesla. It's a chart I absolutely love for the week ahead. You guys can see here, we're testing a massive demand on Tesla. Absolutely huge here, right? Go down to the daily. Very important note to add with that demand. Trading's all about confluence and conflict, noticing those confluences to capitalize off of, and noticing that conflict to also capitalize off of. You can see here Tesla's sitting inside of this macro demand, 275, 280, Also, it's the daily 200 MA. This is huge, right? So now that we got that trade thesis, which is that demand and daily 200 confluence, what we need to do now is narrow down the levels here on the hourly to get our trade opportunity. First things first here, you guys can identify with me that this is a major resistance, right? 300 level. We have this major demand here, 275, 280. So our game plan is very simple, right? Wait for a pullback into this demand. That's where we can look for a long entry. Or two, we get above this 300 level, simply wait for that break and hold, go long, target that 310, 320 being the final target. That's what I'm watching this week on Tesla. Absolute beautiful chart. As long as we're above that demand, I love Tesla. That simple. We did swing Tesla over the weekend as well. Swung it in our small account. Super clean setup here. Next, we have Meta. Absolute beautiful chart here. You guys can see here also with Meta, we are testing a major macro demand. If you want to know what a major demand looks like, look at that Tesla chart. Look at this Meta chart. This is a picture perfect example. More importantly here, Meta's now forming a beautiful double bottom, failure to go lower after testing that demand. That is what you want to see. So with that being said, what we're watching here on Meta is two things. Pullback 650, 640 for a demand bounce, or two, if we get above 670, simply buy the dip, target that 6088, ultimately targeting 700. Long as Meta's above this 640, 650 demand, absolutely love this name for higher. Very clean chart. What else do we have here? AMD has been getting absolute obliterated, right? Like AMD has been getting blown out of the water, no question. You guys see it here, down literally 60% from all-time highs. Weekly chart, new lower low, lower high. Daily chart, full-blown downtrend, and has been for some time. This is a chart that can see a lot lower. I don't know why so many people are so bullish on AMD. If you're looking at the chart, there's no reason to be bullish, right? If anybody's bullish on AMD, you need to block them and report them. Is AMD overextended? Yes, it is. Will it probably bounce soon? Yes, it probably will. But if you look at this chart and you try to rationalize going long on it, you need your fucking head checked. But we do have a beautiful setup here. This setup is a drop base, right? And there's two things that can come from this. One is a drop base rally, and two is a drop base drop. What I want to see here on AMD is a break and hold below this 98.7. If we get below 98.7, there is literally nothing but room down into this 93, 95 area. That's where I want to then look to flip long for a demand bounce. I think this is also an A+ setup for a swing entry if we do get down into that demand. In terms of the upside, if we reclaim 100, I do think we can get squeezy back into this 103.50, 104, which is where we could then look for a reject on AMD. And yeah, very simple. That's what I'm watching on AMD there. Next, we have Microsoft. This is an absolute beautiful chart that I love. Also, an absolute perfect example of what structure and demand looks like. So if you're struggling, identify either one of those. Look at this Microsoft chart. You guys can see here that this once was previous all-time highs. That was broken, respected as support, support, support. Here we are again testing that same support. This is the line in the sand. This is big as big gets. This is the level of all levels. This is it, right? This is everything for Microsoft. So, since we are bouncing off that macro demand, the context for a reversal is there. With the context being there, our job is now identify that trade opportunity. And we have it, right? One is pull back into that demand, 390, 385 for a demand bounce. Or two, after that strong close on Friday, we got that first day move. We're looking for that second day continuation. If we can get above 400 on Microsoft, that's where we can simply look to go long and target that move back into that 405 and ultimately targeting that 412, 420 level. And that's the game plan on Microsoft, right? Very simple, very clean, very clear, absolute beautiful chart. And just to take a second real quick, let's take a step back. I want you guys just to look at this chart, right? And then I want you to look at all the charts we looked at tonight, right? What do you notice with SPY here? Macro demand, trendline support, confluence, right? Overall, a bullish demand. Look at QQQ. Major demand plus the daily 200 moving average. That's a bullish demand, right? Testing the overall uptrend. You go look at IWM. Double bottom, very strong close. It's a bullish demand. We go look at Tesla. Major demand, daily 200. Meta, major structure, double bottom, demand. AMD, conflict. Every single chart we looked at up until this point was sitting in demand. AMD here is just a weak bitch, right? So now we know the name we need to focus on. If the market gets weak, AMD's relative weakness, right? Amazon, what do you notice? Major demand, double bottom. Microsoft, what do you notice? Major demand, right? All of these charts are in correlation, which is good, right? It's very good. I'm not gonna lie, my fucking jaw is starting to hurt so bad, so I'm about to cut this short in a second. But before I do want to go over a couple of swings with you guys. One is MicroStrategy. I'm a little upset about this because I should have entered on Friday. This was just a textbook, clean, beautiful setup. You guys can see here, literally perfect, right? Major demand, daily 200 moving average, just an A+ setup, bullish divergence, A+ across the board. Unfortunately, we're probably going to miss this one because as of right now, it's up 17%. I checked on Robinhood. So right now, it is sitting, wow, it's up at the 300s. That's crazy. So right now, MicroStrategy is up at the 300s. So unfortunately, might have missed an entry there. But if you notice, it's literally identical setup to Tesla, right? Demand, daily 200 MA. Demand, daily 200 MA. Same thing on MicroStrategy, same setup on Tesla. That's why these are my two top swing watches for the week ahead. Couple other names I like here as well, which is Coin off of that 200 level. We just filled this massive daily gap on Coin, which is huge, right? So I like Coin for long, especially with crypto starting to gear up this weekend. DocU, it's kind of a side watch. Google, I like for a potential swing. You can see this is the third touch of this trendline support. Looks good. Costco, I like as well. If we can pull back further, we were watching that last week. But yeah, man, my two main swing watches this week, MicroStrategy and Tesla. These are two names that I absolutely love. Long as Tesla's above that 275, long as it's MicroStrategy at 230, looks absolutely amazing for higher. I owe you guys a giveaway, so let's go ahead and hop into that. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, my jaw is starting to hurt so fucking bad. Gotta go put my little ice pack on and call it. Alrighty, let's get it. Again, man, I show up for you guys. I appreciate you guys showing up for me. Every single one of you guys. I appreciate every single one of you guys for taking time out of your Sunday to come kick it with me, man. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Sorry I wasn't, full of energy like normal, and I'm very soft-spoken. But, yeah, man, hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight's live. Like I said, sorry it wasn't like usual, but, yeah, man, let's get it. Keyword here is going to be turbo. All you got to do is type it in the chat one time. Let's get it. Of course, I'm glad I can help, man. I'm glad I can help. Let's get it. I'm going to take a drink of water. Give me 1 second, and then we'll get this thing rocking. Alrighty, y'all. Good luck, everybody. Let's get it. Carlos Garcia Mendez. Again, guys, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys who took time out of your Sunday to come kick it with me, man. It's greatly appreciated. We'll be back to normal schedule tomorrow, hopefully. Right now I feel fine, but my jaw is starting to hurt bad as fuck. So I think any longer than an hour is pushing it. But I'm going to hop on Zoom tomorrow as planned. So I'll be live trading again every single day. with you guys. You guys already know how to tune in. It's completely free. Yeah, man. Oh, here we go. Carlos. It's a good winner, man. Great winner, great winner, great winner. But, yeah, man. I'm going to go ahead and call it a night, guys. Sorry, it's a shorter night. Let's see if we can see anything on NQ here. Yeah, sorry, it's a bit of a shorter night. Still kind of healing up. I got fucking 4 teeth pulled on Wednesday. That was absolute. It wasn't, I'm not gonna lie though, it wasn't horrible, but it did suck. Still sucks. Yeah, man. I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. I still think the setup's valid, right? I'm gonna take it before I hop off. Short, stop above 29.70. I like this lower high we just put in right here. First target 2900, second target 2840. I'm gonna take it on my way out the door, and that's how we're gonna end it tonight, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight's live, man. I'll see you guys bright and early in the morning. And yeah, man. Peace, everybody. Good night, everyone.